Well, hello there, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great little Saturday. I may get rained on in a moment. I don't know. The clouds have kind of started to come down, but until then, I thought I would chat with you guys for a minute. We'll get walking in a moment, but it was a good time to sit down. And if you saw the title to this one, turns out Nexium's DOS, the sex part of the cult, if you will, is still running strong. Still running strong. I'm probably going to do actual video on this one when I get home. But it seems that Allison Mack's wife, and remember, Allison Mack's wife, that was a total sham marriage. She was in it for Keith and the Bronfmans. Had nothing to do with her wife, Nikki Klein. Now, Nikki Klein isn't mentioned in any of these indictments, but there are reports as of last month that she was in the area in Clifton Park, and Frank Parlato, who's done a ton of amazing work on Nexium for the Frank Report, his publication, and Art Voice, his publication, has now come out and said she is indeed the one running it. Now, it also came out that Mac was set to testify against Keith. She was ready to do it. The question is, why didn't the prosecutors have her do it? Well, I have a lot of theories on that. And the theory to me is, he didn't even put up a defense. He called no witnesses, and they gave a closing statement. Well, who's paying the bills? The Bronfmans are paying the bills. Claire Bronfman, $14.3 million set away in a legal fund for these people. Now, Claire already has quite the sweetheart deal, and that is 21 to 72 months. And if she gets more than 27 months, she can appeal it. She pays $6 million. Now, I would be shocked if they don't sentence Rainier heavily handed. I already said they were going to find him guilty on everything. I knew that was going to happen. I don't know what the other people are going to get. What will Nancy Salzman get? What will Lauren Salzman get? Okay? What will Allison Mack get? They're not billionaires, but their legal funds were certainly taken care of. So, especially with the Epstein stuff, if you saw my video earlier today, it seems that Dershowitz, all of a sudden, all right, Carmen, let's start moving. All of a sudden, for the sake of the Constitution, he wants to keep all those records sealed now. He would be greedy of them, after all, if he were to demand his name be cleared in the Virginia Guffrey case. So, just like the snaky lawyer that he is now put in a motion to dismiss the defamation suit that was brought against him on Guffrey. Remember, he brought one against her as well. So, a guy who's been parading around for years using stall tactics, a lot of people think, well, he doesn't really want it thrown out or doesn't think it can be. But he knows by using this legal precedent, he'll be able to do a media firestorm, the trial will be dragged on, and it'll just continue to go. The man's 80. So we did an in-depth report on that, how the FBI had been made aware of Epstein in a separate case outside of Palm Springs by another woman who also claims that Dershowitz was visiting his New York mansion in the 90s and that underage models were upstairs modeling, and Mr. Dershowitz would go up those stairs. Now, beyond that, she didn't have anything else to say, but, check out the Maria Farmer story. It's out there. It's not front page news. It should be. And another thing I contemplated doing a video on, but I definitely won't. We'll just talk about it here, is Kamala Harris. So, Kamala Harris, as I was telling everybody in the night 2 after the debate AMA, was heavily promoted. They made her look like the front runner in those debates. Now, when everybody was having a little bit of a hissy fit and yelling at one another, she demanded that she be heard because she was a woman of color and they were talking about race. And then she the big media firestorm card, went after Biden for his racist past. And by the way, Biden, not a good person. About as establishment as it gets, okay? And let's not forget Hillary Clinton. She said that she was mentored by Senator Byrd, a member of the KKK. Let me repeat that, a member of the KKK. No one seems to bring those politics up. Anyhow, she said, I was that girl on the bus. I was that girl on the bus. You know, the fake nonsense is over the top, but now she's selling t-shirts of her face. I don't know if she kept them up after the media backlash, but you can look it up. She's selling t-shirts of her face, and I think the bus is in the background, of her looking upset that now she is, now she's selling them like, I was segregated on a bus, vote for me. Guys, race politics are so fucking boring and bullshit. Look, do racists exist? You bet they do. Are they still around today? Yes, they are. Do some of them hold positions of power? You betcha. However, it's much less of a problem. Normal people like you and I couldn't give a rat's ass about race or the colors of somebody's skin. We, like Martin Luther King Jr., said, you know what? I think I'm going to base my opinion of another human being not on the color of their skin, but how about this? On the content of their character, on their actions, how they treat other people. Crazy stuff, I know. And the majority of us buy into that. We really do. But for some reason, the Democratic Party in particular loves to play those oppression politics and wants to keep bringing up how we're divided when we don't have to be. When it's really not a race issue, it's a class issue, and it's a poverty issue, and it's an issue where instead of uplifting people into the middle class the last 40 years, we took out the upper and most of the middle class financially, and we never allowed minority communities or the poor who didn't even live in minority communities to come up in mass, period. That's how it is. You know, a lot of these people did get an education. There were no jobs afterwards. Or they did get an education, they're still paying off student loans, and they're living in the city in a box. By the way, I got some really great comments, and what's her name? I think it's, I don't want to blow her up, but Erica Jill. She donated to the GoFundMe campaign, and she's a New York City person. I checked out some of her photography, her work. It's awesome. You know, big cities like that, New York City, LA, Chicago to some extent, Philly. Yes, they have huge artistic and employment opportunities. You know what I mean? You absolutely. They're great to visit and sometimes even be around. I just could never, ever be surrounded by so many, I don't even know if I'd call it strangers, just people that are upset and, you know, jaded. Not every New Yorker is upset and jaded, but I got to tell you, when you go there, a lot of the times you're looking forward and you're like, what the hell is going on? Fun to visit. I don't know if I could stay. But thank you for that donation. I really do appreciate it. Helps me keep going. And, you know, at the very least, I am probably going to be going down to New York City for the 9/11 anniversary this year. 18th anniversary. I did not go, I think, the last 2 years. So it's certainly about time that I make my way down there and talk to people and visit the area. I think it's important. You know, that's one of those important issues. And that's why when I did, I don't know if you saw the video earlier today, guys, on Google's protest memo. Resist at google.com. But if you haven't seen it, you really need to, because we're at the point now where a megalithic corporation that is heavily in bed with our government on many levels, from artificial intelligence to the military-industrial complex to the space program, they're sending out memos to their employees, basically Fisher-Price, my first protest. And they're making signs for them and putting them in a drive folder for them to download and print out. And they're telling them what to chant and how to dress. You know, you want to dress nice, you want to get your hair done, you want to look good, you want to be a good-looking protester. And it's like, so now we have this leviathan of a corporation having its employees protest and be minions on behalf of their agendas. 2019, here we are. And instead of, you know, bringing to issue how Google's not really a private company, well, all the people that are behind them and are at resist at Google, they'll just, form their own protest and their own march. Like, what the hell? And then they'll curate content on this platform that you're watching here. And all I want to say is, YouTube, I want to be your friend. You can be friendly to me. The demonetization hasn't been completely out of control this week. Most everything, at least, has been remonetized, and I appreciate that. I realize there are human beings that work there, but I think that it's high time we had a voice that was not left or right, that had discernment, that will report on these issues fairly, and like today, read the actual documents. We have the documents, folks. We have the documents. We went over them, and there is no doubt Google is evil. Even though "Don't be evil" was one of the slogans that they wanted you to chant. Yes, they were also instructions how to chant. You can't make this stuff up. So, with that being said, I think that Karma and we're going to finish up our walk. I'm definitely going to put out a bigger Nexium video in a little bit, and I thank you guys so much. Make sure you're subscribed, thumbs the video up, ring that bell for notifications, and hit that GoFundMe if you want to support me financially. Thank you so much.